many guns have you dismantled in the game? I mean, take a guess. How many do you think you've dismantled? 100? 200? 1,000? 5,000? Have you ever played a first-person shooter game where you got rid of this many guns in the game? This is completely and utterly fucking stupid. I know where this logic comes from, and it's mainly influenced from MMOs where you get a ton of useless garbage, but the idea of getting constant worthless guns is just awful. Absolute awful game design. I don't need a blue level weapon at level 29 or 31. I don't need blue guns when I'm heading into a raid, and I certainly don't have the space to even keep all these fucking things, let alone give a flying fuck about every single one of them. After you hit level 24 or so, the only guns worth a damn are legendary or exotic weapons. That's really it. Once you get enough legendary guns and types to fill up your vault and character slots, then there is no need for blue or green guns other than dismantling that shit for parts and money. It's fucking stupid. But of course, I have a solution that can help Bungie. Unfortunately, it's something that I don't think can be fixed in this game. Unless Bungie decides to strip their entire arsenal and economy down to nothing, there is no way my idea can be implemented in this game compared to what they can do in future games. Although, part of my idea is already being implemented in smaller stages, but the entire system can't be implemented here. Now, before I get into the fixes, there is one other item I want to mention about the guns in the game. Like everything else, this was a copy and paste job. Every fucking gun within the same gun type is the same goddamn model. The Suros is the same model as the Shingen, as the Hexcaster, the Shadow Prights, etc. because all the auto rifles look the goddamn same. Pulse rifles are all the same. Machine guns, shotguns, you name it. The base model of each gun is the same goddamn thing, and the only different weapons are some of the exotics like the Mythic Class or the Icebreaker. But if you compare the Crusader Scout rifle to the Vision of Confluence, it's the same shit. The Devil You Know to the Fatebringer, it's the same shit. Vanquisher to the Shadow Price, it's the same shit. It's laziness. We know that. It's cutting corners so that they can rush out an incomplete product. Fine, we get that. But we have well over 200 guns in the directory, all looking similar, and 98% of those guns are fucking useless once you hit the highest levels of the game because of the stupid-ass ranking system. So my idea is actually a semi-solution to both of these problems. Instead of having a shitload of useless guns that we use for parts, and a series of similar-looking guns because Bungie was too fucking lazy to make more than 9 base models, the easiest solution to the gun problem is having all the base guns evolve. Evolution is the easiest way to fix this lazy-ass design problem Bungie created for themselves, and actually, it's quite fucking brilliant if I must say so myself. Now, the funny thing is, the idea that I have for gun evolution is similar to what's being done now in the game with the Necrochasm. However, when I plotted out my ideas for the BluePrint series, I plotted out when I was doing the gun video, I plotted out all my concepts way ahead of whenever the DLC was actually announced. So, it looks like my idea is actually copying the evolution system that Bungie's doing for the one gun. But I actually had this concept in my head way before they ever actually announced what the Dark Below was going to have. It sucks that I just can't take full credit for it, but you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna tell them right now I had this idea before them. Now, here are the details. When we started the game, we were given some base models of each gun type. Auto rifle, shotgun, hand cannon, whatever the fuck. Eventually, we found or received a better version of that type of gun, and it made the older one obsolete. So, many people dismantled it. We stripped it down for parts to use on future gun upgrades. We used the Glimmer to buy future shit or whatever the fuck we wanted to do with it. But instead of dismantling all the weapons, or all of at least the base weapons, why don't they have an evolution tree in which they can be transformed into a different weapon? Now hear me out for a second. We started the game with that Kvastov or Kostov, whatever the fuck, I can't remember what the goddamn name of the gun is right now. At some point, we then got a Cydonia or something to replace it. Well, how about giving the Kvastov the ability to upgrade into the Cydonia? After a certain amount of time or upgrades, any weapon will upgrade into something better. After you upgrade the Cydonia, then you may want to upgrade to turn that into something like maybe say a Shingen or something like that, and eventually a legendary weapon. Each gun now has a purpose behind it. Each weapon you find or earn could lead to something bigger and better. Now that's just the basics of it. One gun evolving into another gun, and that's what's been going on right now with the Husk of the Pit into the Necrochasm. But my plan is far more detailed than that. Let's take a look at that Kvastov for a second. In the game, we have 4 different planet materials, right? We have Spin Metal, Helium, Spirit Orbs, and Iron Relic. Right now, the game wants each gun to only use one part of those materials to upgrade, but I want to take that one step further. Each gun can accept any portion of material, and depending on what material you actually give it, that gun will evolve into something different. So let's say you give the Kvastov spin metal. It might turn into the Cydonia, like I mentioned. However, if you give it helium, it could turn into the Sahara. If you give it Spirit Bloom, it could turn into the Carte Blanche. You get the idea, right? Now, you have 4 different weapons, all of which came from your base white gun. It now turns into 4 different green level guns, and guess what? Each one of those type of weapons can turn into 4 blue weapons. Your Cydonia can turn into the Shingen with spin metal, or the Hushwin with iron, or the Eclipse with helium, whatever the fuck you want to call these shits. And then after that, each one of those blue weapons can turn into a purple weapon with enough upgrades. Unwilling Soul, Shadow Price, Vanquisher, you name it. Instead of dismantling each weapon, although you can certainly do so, now you build them up from the very beginning, making them into something, investing in your inventory instead of throwing that shit away like yesterday's trash. In one magnificent change, I just made one gun turn into 12 weapons. Hell, if I really want to go crazy in this motherfucker, I could say that each tier could take a subset of planet materials and morph into 4 guns, and you could get a total of 84 fucking guns from just one source. Now, I think that's a little bit much, to be honest, but you get the idea of how a simple change to Destiny's logic changes the scope of your entire arsenal. One gun can now morph into 12 guns, or 16 guns, or 20 guns, however you want to actually make the tiers afterwards. And guess what? You can do this for any weapon subset. Rocket launchers, pulse rifles, fusion rifles, you name it. All start with a base weapon. All can be manufactured into something else, a weapon of your choosing. All of them consist of a growing rank up tree that suits to your playstyle and character. And best of all the guns can actually look alike, because think about it. I managed to level up the same gun 3 times. So it should look pretty similar to the base model that I got, right? It should look like a similar weapon to the original version that I actually picked up. Sure, you'll have some different changes, you have some different looks to the motherfucker, but if I turn my white Kvastov into a green Sahara, they would look pretty fucking similar. Or a blue fusion rifle into a purple fusion rifle. The looks would be similar. Now, it makes sense for Bungie to copy and paste this shit over and over again. See, Bungie, I'm helping you with your own laziness. Bungie's own laziness could have some hidden logic to it. You know, my gun looks the same because they all started from the same place. My gun acts and sounds the same because they originated from just one weapon. I just took Bungie's lazy, half-ass approach to weapons in the game and gave them a significant purpose and reasons to actually have these shits. But wait, I ain't done yet, motherfucker. Oh, no. Right now, we have the ability to buy weapons from vendors and shit, right? You can get some legendary weapons from multiple places in the game, but here, the incentive would be sticking with your gun. Anything legendary you purchase will not be as powerful as the gun you've invested your time in. If you want a shortcut to the shadow price, sure, just visit the certain tower vendor and you can buy one. But if you want the best and most customized shadow price, you'll be willing to upgrade that sucker from the beginning and put the time and effort into making it a supreme weapon. Now, the differences won't be drastic, but it will be noticeable, say an attack rating of 280 for purchased guns and an attack rating for 300 for the upgraded ones. I'm just thinking out loud. That's not actual logic and shit like that. Bungie can apply whatever the fuck numbers they wanted to, but you want that separation to ensure that people will take the time to rank up seriously as opposed to just going to a tower vendor and buying their next best weapon. Now, the final piece of all this would be the exotic weapons. And as I said in an earlier video, my change that I would want would require all exotic guns to be done through a bounty through Xur, and I'm sticking to that. Exotics should be a class of their own. So this evolution system will only work from the base models all the way up to the legendary models. It maintains some form of grinding for better shit, as well as some skill or time based tasks that you need to accomplish in order to get your exotic material. It's a fair balance of hard work and rewards compared to the randomness we have now. I don't think the evolution system should turn into an exotic weapon, because let's be honest, that's just way too fucking easy. You should earn your shit from a bounty. Go out there, get your guns through rewards and challenges, and then you'll feel like a boss afterwards. So on top of having this evolution system in which you get more guns from your original purchases, now you can also go out there and have the bounties for the most exotic and powerful weapons in the game. It's the ultimate balance of RPG elements and normal shooter elements. Ultimately, I want to cut down on the useless shit that I'm dismantling all the time. I want to cut down on the random ways of getting guns and putting people on a set path of ranking up towards a different gun with different material. You know, it's certainly a shitload more understandable than hoping you end up with a gun from like a random drop or an engram or some shit like that. It's much better than getting an enemy to shit out a blue engram that you know you're just just going to turn into glimmer and weapon parts anyway. By changing the gun economy to a transformation and evolution system, Destiny has now added just that touch of RPG element that we've been missing from this game. It's not a lot, but it's a touch of the full customization system of what you would want out of a game. Remember when Destiny said you could load out your character any way you want? You could do anything you wish with your character between your appearance, your attack rating, your style of play. Never happened. However, at least now with the guns, you have a way of upgrading to the ones that you want. You don't want a Shadow Price, you don't have to get it. You like the Sahara? Sure. Upgrade your gun in that direction and you can have your Sahara, you can have your Hushwind, you can have your Wizard 77. All these ways allow a player to play the way they want and choose the weapons they want on a path, as opposed to randomly hoping you get that shit from fucking Cryptroll. I'll say this right now, Bungie is sort of on the right path with the Necrochasm, and they just need a good kick in the ass to stay on that course in the direction. I don't think it's going to happen in this game. However, like I said, in future games, this is something to consider. Evolution and transformation of the original guns removes all that useless shit we end up dismantling at the end of the day. Anyways, I'm going to call this the official halfway point of the series. Right now, we're going on video number 6, and I have a feeling that this Blueprint series for Destiny is going to last a full 12 videos. So, halfway through this motherfucker, and we got 6 more videos to go. So, as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit, and I'll see you guys in the next video.